Right. This is Matt Free, Two Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined once again by Johnny Nelson. Johnny, first off, how's things?
Good, I'm good. You know what, I like Manchester Fight Week is the best UK city in the world. I'm telling you, it's just like, it's the bomb. You can't beat it. Good atmosphere, good vibe, good crowd. When it comes to fight, not night, and fight week, you know, Manchester get behind it. And it's just...
It's bouncing, isn't it? Even now it's early, but I feel there's something in the air.
Yeah, and so you know, to say we're coming back into New Year, we had Eubank Williams last week, and now we've jumped onto this one here. What a way to start the year.
Talk to me about Sky. Obviously, when Matchroom left, there was always that feeling of what's going to happen, what's Sky doing? But straight away the transition was top rank, boxer, deals on board, and they've really... have you enjoyed this transition? Because it's got off to a flyer. Let's be honest.
Listen, it wasn't easy at first because it was something new, and whenever something's new, you think where we're going. You like to know what you're doing, where you're coming from. But Sky have been doing this for 30 years. They know the formula for success. You look at the publicity in regards to pushing this fight alone. It's set to break records, and so what they do is they make sure everybody knows about it. Everybody's got an option of seeing. How often do you walk into a pub and look at the TV and see a Sky show on there? So Sky, they've got the formula, and it's brilliant. That transition, yeah, everybody needs to find their feet, but the formula's always been there. The ingredients always been there. So that was never a worry. And the fighters, you know, I'm an ex-fighter. We're vain, man. So you want to be seen, you want to be out there, you want people talking about you, and that is the case. So everything's moving in the right direction, and realistically, as a fan, as well as an ex-fighter, it's great because there's so much option. It's untrue to watch fights.
It's very competitive now. Obviously, you've got Matchroom, DAZN, Sky, Boxer, Frank Warren at Queensberry. There's such a BT spot. There's such a varied amount to look at, but putting on good fights. But when you look at this fight, this is a fight that has been talked about for years. I remember that ringside. I mean, I wish they'd bring ringside back. Please, can you bring ringside back?
Yeah, that's
but that, when Khan and Brook was on it, that was bubbling up then, and finally we're here. How much does it mean for British boxing that we're actually getting to see it? Although maybe mid-30s, but we're getting to see it at least.
So regardless of when it is, the fight's happening. I was one of the first ones to say this fight is never going to happen. I don't believe it. I'm not falling in love with it. No way. And I was probably even jittery up to last week.
Why would you?
Because the excuses that were being created for why it's not happening. I thought, thinking as an ex-fighter, I think if you want to fight, you're going to fight. And ridiculous demands of, you know, I'll fight you if you do this, that, and the other. I thought, nah, this fight's never going to happen. So then when it's actually happening, I'm like, I'll be the first one to put my hand up and say, look, I'm wrong, and I'm glad I'm wrong. This fight's happening. So now the fans are getting what they want. They're getting two fights. That regardless of you saying if they're not the same fighters they were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, they've deteriorated at the same pace. So they're still the same fighter to each other. So who does it benefit? So let's look at it. Amir Khan initially, I thought had the beating of Kell Brook initially. Then probably about 5 years ago, I thought Kell's got the beating because Kell's flying high. You look at Amir Khan, and his strengths are his speed. That's his strengths. Yeah. His speed was taken away when you look. Just look at his last fight against Crawford. His speed was taken away. Once his speed was taken away, he fell to pieces. For Kell Brook, it's about now how fragile is he around there, around that outside area. Yeah. You know, so if he gets hit with the right shot, he gets hit in the right place, then it's gone. It's game over, because no matter how much of a fighter you think you are, instincts and survival instincts kick in. Yeah. And so if his eye gets hit and he gets hurt, no matter how much we want it, how much we're baying for blood, he'd be like, nah, I can't do this. So does Amir Khan hit hard enough to create that kind of pressure on Kell Brook? I don't know. Kell Brook's been sparring for the last 16 weeks. Has Amir Khan has Kell Brook got the timing to out navigate Amir Khan's speed of what he has now? We don't know. So when the bell goes, that's when we'll see what's going on.
For me, what stands out when we talk about this fight is initially the weight, because Kell Brook, for many years now, we've been saying he'll move on from 147, move up. And I know in bygone years, I think Amir Khan's obviously held him to, we'll fight you at 147. That was 3, 4, 5 years ago when Kell Brook could maybe make the weight a bit easier. Now, Kell Brook's now obviously a lot comfier higher up, and he's going to be made to come in at 149. Is that going to play a huge factor in this fight in the back of your mind? It must. This is massively in favour of Amir, isn't it? Surely, weight-wise.
Without a doubt, and I don't know if he's put those stipulations in. I hear he has, but you know, in doing that, you think, well, why is that? You know, because it's not for a title. You guys could easily fight at a higher weight, on 54, something like that. So why do that? So of course it's gamesmanship, and as far as he's concerned, he's going to make sure everything's in his favour. And it's something that can be ignored if you don't know what's going on, but you can't ignore it if you know the facts. But at the end of the day, down the line, whoever wins, they're not going to talk about, well, he did it at a weight that suited Amir Khan.
Yeah.
Both fighters are going to struggle to make the weight. Amir Khan probably makes it easier than Kell Brook, and so it's a case of how they make the weight. And I can get you down to 9 stone, but you won't be able
Fucking hell, good one.
but you won't be able to tie your shoelaces when you're there.
Yeah.
So these guys have got down to weight, but they've got to do it in a healthy way where they can fight to the best of their ability. So of course it suits Amir Khan more than anybody, because you know, look, as you saw on rings the gloves are off. You know, he's the A side, so he's the one that called the shots in regards to making this fight happen.
What did you make of the gloves are off? I watched it, and Amir Khan sort of held court quite well, I thought. I thought he was very good at pushing buttons without saying a lot.
Yeah.
He gave Kell his props in the most, I'm trying to think of a way that's respectful.
Flattering way.
Yeah, by saying basically, oh, you did that, well done. And then it was almost a silence of it, as if saying, you're taking the piss.
He kind of mugged him off a bit, you know. Kell didn't realise, you know, at the time when he said to Kell, well, who's the A side? You answer that. Kell said, you are. Who's that? I didn't hear you. Who's that? And I thought, Kell, he's mugging you off, man.
Yeah,
but
don't talk.
But Kell, yeah. But Amir Khan is clearly a lot more media savvy than most fighters.
Yeah.
And so he's going to mug you off. If you're a fighter that wears your heart on your sleeve, then you're going to talk how you talk. It's a case of how you perform. If you perform with your heart on your sleeve, then you're going to get an arse in. Kell is not as media savvy, so Kell talked with his heart on his sleeve, and actually that's what people are talking about. And so who came across the better of the two? You got one guy that was real, one guy that was smart, and that's how it is. And you've got to do that. I've got to make you think that I'm better than you, so I've got to be cooler than you. I've got to look like I know more than you.
Yeah.
And we do that. In your head, you're thinking, shit, it's a big task for me getting in there with him. Yeah. So Amir played it spot on right, and I'm this week, probably start today, watch the skullduggery that comes out from either camp or camp supporters to upset and to get in the skin of one another.
I was going to come on to this because obviously Amir Khan's been training with Bomac, Terence Crawford. I believe Terence has come over for the trip as well. Yeah. Terence has had experience of them both. Yeah. What do you make of that? Is that a good move by Amir Khan, going to that camp, getting that experience over there? How do you think will that play a part in this? The fact he's been training with Terence and Bomac.
Amir Khan has constantly moved from trainer to trainer. I don't get that. I get, you know, I stayed with one trainer all the way through, and that worked for me. That was the secret to my success. There's no way you're going to learn. I'm going to join it with a trainer and learn all I need to learn from him in that short space of time of working with him. I don't know how long they've been working together, but I know Bomac said when Amir lost to Crawford, you've got no heart. The kid's got no balls. He's got no heart. So to go into camp with somebody like that, yeah, and trust him, because remember when you're fighting, you come out to the corner, you got to trust him, believe that guy believes in you, and so I don't know how you get your head around that. Some fighters could do it. I can't do it. I just couldn't do it. So him going over to train with in Crawford's camp, good for him. Will it make any difference? No, it doesn't. Terence Crawford coming over here, he's coming over to support Amir, you know, and it's just how it is. But it doesn't make no difference at all to performance, at all, because he's not been with Bomac long enough for him to make an impression on changing style. Look at all the times when Amir's boxed. How many times has he boxed any difference? He works on speed, works on movement, and that's it. There's nothing changed. Yeah. It's not like
he's worked with Virgil Hunter as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. It's not like inventing the wheel. The best trainer I think he was with Virgil Hunter. Now, if he worked under Virgil Hunter's tutorage and done exactly what Virgil Hunter wanted, he'd have got success upon success. Because I think Virgil Hunter is probably one of the best coaches in the world.
Yeah, I'll echo that 100%. Right, we'll leave this off just because I know you're going to have to get off, but I want a prediction from you. obviously hard with your Sheffield hat on. I know where your loyalty lies with your career, with everything that gym means to you and your relationship with Kell, but try and sum up, if you can, what you think will happen on Saturday night.
I'll be honest with you, and no one's going to push me on it. Kell, obviously, we're from the same gym. Kell's my boy, and instinctively I'm going to want to say, Kell, I would not put my house on this. I have absolutely no idea. I've absolutely no idea because, as I say, depends on who's got what left in the ring. I know what Kell's done in the gym. I don't know what Amir Khan's done in the gym. You've got to weigh this up, and I'm telling you, for the first time ever, call it fence sitting, call it whatever you want, I have absolutely no idea. All I do know is it is going to be a proper barn burner.
That's good though, isn't it? If we don't know what's going to happen, kind of. That's good because it makes it more interesting.
Yeah, and listen, I'll be honest. I'll be honest, and it's like when Liam boxed Chris Eubank Jr. Liam's from the gym, and I'm a good friend of Liam, but I didn't think initially I thought Chris is going to have too much for him, and I kind of said that. But with this one, I'm honest with you, I have no idea. Absolutely none.
I can't wait, honestly. I've been wanting this fight for years. I'm sure you definitely have. So look, Johnny Nelson, thanks for talking to Into Boxing once again.
Nice one.
We'll catch up maybe later in the week.
You will, my brother, you will.